Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a really good last session, and we're here for one more. Before we get into introducing our next speaker, I want everybody to stay put in their seats after the Q&A because we have a lot of prizes to give away. So please stick around. We will also have a breakout session that you guys will be able to go and join and just have a little bit of a good time, just relax and chat with everybody that's still around. So stick around. We'll give you more information on that as we get closer. But without further ado, it's an honor to bring in our next guest speaker all the way from Canada, referee Drew Fischer. Drew made his professional MLS debut in 2012 and has been on the FIFA panel since 2015. Up to now, Drew has refereed 137 MLS matches. He's refereed in the MLS All-Stars, MLS Cup playoffs, FIFA Club World Cup. He just arrived back from that a couple weeks ago, I imagine, or a week ago, something along those lines.
Yep.
As well as the CONCACAF under 20 championships, amongst many other prestigious events. So you guys don't want to listen to me talk, so let's bring in Drew. Drew, it's all yours.
Thanks, Asad. I really appreciate it. Everybody's had a bit of a long day so far. We're on to the fourth session here. So far, you've had a bit of a mixed bag, right? We've had Chris and Tori this morning, and then Sandra this afternoon providing a bunch of information that's kind of not related to the decisions you make on the field, more related to the decisions you make after those decisions or aside from those decisions. And then Chris and Ted this morning, good technical discussion on offside. So this afternoon, we're going to try to kind of combine those two a little bit. We're going to talk about the decisions on the field, but not just from a strictly sort of law perspective. So we're going to talk about the options we have when we referee and how that can let us be more practical referees. So if we get to the first slide here, quick little overview of what we're going to talk about. Always anytime you talk about decisions and decision making on the field, we need to think about why it's important to talk about, what the basis is in law, and what the overall philosophy is that we're trying to accomplish here. So we'll start with why this is important. At the end of the day, high-level refereeing is all about management. It's all about finding a way to manage the game. And if every decision was simple and every decision was cut and dried, it would be really, really easy. But we all know it's not. So we have to look at what elements we can consider when we're making decisions. So the first one here is protecting the players. Our first responsibility is always protecting the safety of players. So whenever you're in situations where you say, I'm not entirely sure what to do here, one of the things that we want to look at is what will keep players safe. This is classic, the tackle where a player comes in just with crazy speed and they're out of control and they happen to get the ball first and it's almost dumb luck. And we're still going to come out and say, well, this is still definitely a foul because we can't allow players to play like this, or else the next time that it's unlucky, we're going to have big problems. The second consideration here is protecting the image of the game. And that sounds kind of, I don't know, high and mighty maybe, but at the end of the day, we are the people who are responsible for protecting the competition and protecting football in a broad sense. So we have to keep in mind what is going to be a fair outcome for the game and what is a just conclusion. And then finally, we've got to use common sense. That's the whole point of being practical. And sometimes there's going to be spots where we're going to be in kind of uncharted waters, right? Areas where we're not familiar with what exactly we have to do according to the law. And so we can apply some common sense to get there. So now, where does this fit into the law? At the end of the day, we have to understand how we have the authority to do all this. So Law 5 gives the referee lots of interpretive responsibility. And the key phrase that shows up all over in the laws is in the opinion of the referee. And so that phrase is what gives us all of the ability to be flexible in how we interpret things that happen on the field. It also is a bit of a protection for us as referees, because at the end of the day, all we can go on is what we see and what we are able to interpret. At the end of the day, all of our decisions have to be supportable in law. These are the errors that Sandra was talking about in her last presentation. We cannot ever make technical errors. So if we have decisions where if we make this decision, this is the restart, then that has to be the restart, right? This is not a place where we have gray area. So we can't ever come to decisions that are totally unsupportable in law. We have to make sure that we've got that backing. But the laws aren't black and white, and they're not supposed to be, right? There are some areas where IFAB has taken steps to try to make them a little bit more black and white. They've tried to reduce some of the gray area in areas like handball that we talked about this morning. But there's always going to be some in-between stuff there. And interpreting those areas is what takes a referee from good to great. So here's how we're going to look at all of this. And what we're trying to get at is, what is practical refereeing? And I think for me, practical refereeing is all about options. Safety is our first priority all the time. That's going to be the backbone of what we come up to. And then the second one is something called football understanding. And the higher up you go in particular, the more you're going to hear this term. It comes out over and over and over again. As Assad said, I just came back from Doha at the Club World Cup, and I'm going to say conservatively, football understanding was said 5,000 times in 3 weeks. Everything comes down to football understanding. So what does that mean? Well, the first step is understanding what the options are when something happens on the field. So we have to know in law and also in a practical sense what we can do in this moment. And then when we go to pick through these options, we have to look at things like, what does football expect? And what do we mean by that? We mean, obviously, the two teams are going to maybe disagree about what we should do in a given spot, because they're a little bit biased. But if we step back from that and we look at all of the observers, fans, neutral parties, what does the game really expect us to do? And a lot of the time it's what is fair. And so if you ever get in a spot where you really have no idea what the law says to do, and you'll find one, there will be one eventually. If you default to what is fair, you're probably going to be right more often than you're wrong. And then what's the intention of the law? So the biggest thing that happened once IFAB took over writing the law book, and it wasn't FIFA any longer, is they started putting in the rationale for all their law changes. And if you haven't read these sections, please do so. It's maybe the most important part of all of the law changes. If you don't understand why the laws are the way they are, you're not going to be able to interpret them well when you get into gray areas. And then the last one is, what is going to make our life easier? There's going to be decisions on the field where you could go one of two ways, and one of those ways may make your life way harder in that game, and the other one may not. So we're gonna go on here, and we're gonna look at a few clips. But when we do this, we're going to talk about some of the options that we have. So the first question is the law clear? And if the law is clear, then fine, we can move on. We know what our decision is. But sometimes it's not always crystal clear. The second piece is, are the facts clear? And sometimes these will be clear just like the law is. And in other cases, there's going to be some uncertainty. Maybe they're clear on really, if we bring out the microscope, maybe the facts are really clear. But in a larger sense, maybe there's a little bit of flexibility. We have to consider what the impact is. So we have to look at what's going to, if we make a decision here, is it going to have an impact that's just way too big for what the decision is? And if so, maybe we need to make another decision. Will the decision jeopardize my control? There are always going to be spots where maybe we have a choice. Are we going to give a yellow card here or are we not? And one of the factors that's going to help us make that decision is, will it help my control if I give this yellow card, or will it hurt it? And then the last one is, will this decision be expected? We have to generally make expected decisions. If you're consistently making decisions on the field that nobody on the field is expecting or understanding, then you're probably a little bit off, right? And we need to adjust a bit. So let's watch this first video and see what we can come up with here. So you see, we have a second ball come onto the field, and when that happens, we know that we don't have to stop play unless it immediately it impacts play. If it doesn't impact, we can continue. And there's a real instinctive desire among referees to not stop play there. And if we don't have to stop play, of course we don't really want to. But in this case, you can see this player does get distracted, so there's no question that this has impacted play. Now, is it so big that we couldn't continue? No, maybe not. Maybe this is a spot that we can keep going. But when we do keep going, we run a risk, right? And in this case, the risk is we get a pass, we get a dribble, and now we have a bad tackle that shows up. And we have a tackle here that we're not going to see a replay of, but let's just say it's comfortably a yellow card. So now we have a yellow card here that maybe we didn't need to give. And so the lesson is, if you can prevent something from happening, it's always better than having to explain why it happened later, right? So this is a spot where we just need to be smart. There's no real harm in stopping play. We're not in a spot where somebody's about to kick the ball into the net. We can restart here with a drop ball. And particularly now with the law change, we're going to give the ball back to the team that had it. Nobody's really lost anything. So this is a spot where we can just be smart a little bit. Let's go to the next video. So here we have the goalkeeper throwing the ball out, and the assistant referee has flagged for an offense, and the referee has now gone over and is awarding a free kick to Jamaica. So let's see what the offense is. Okay. In law, this is clear. The goalkeeper has absolutely committed an offense here. There's no question that's true. Now, the question we need to ask ourselves is, what is the impact of this offense? Does anyone on the field care that this offense has been committed? Does anyone on the field even know that this offense has been committed besides the assistant referee? So what's the practical decision here, right? A practical referee can say, I don't think anybody, nothing really has happened here. There's no big impact. If I make this decision, this will not be the expected decision. Yes, you can absolutely step in and try to prevent it from happening the next time. The AR's got a role there to play, to jump in and yell at the goalkeeper that they're getting a little bit close. But if you don't give this, no one cares. And by giving it, you've now created a real mess for yourself, particularly if they come back and score. So there's a little bit of teamwork at play here too, right? The AR needs to know that that's not really their spot to get involved. Let's jump over this one, Doug, and we'll go to the next one. Okay, so the question here is this a pass back? This is really what we're getting to. And I hope that the majority of people on here that in your gut, your first instinct is, I don't want this to be an offense. And so now the question is, why not? Why are we able to say this isn't an offense? And there's a few things that play into it. One is, what's the defender trying to do? She's trying to cut out a ball that's been crossed. She knows she's got an attacker behind her, and she's just trying to step in and stop this. By the letter of the law, does she kick the ball to the goalkeeper? Maybe. But she's not really in control of what she's doing, right? She's just trying to defend. This doesn't feel right. And the other piece of this is, why was that law ever brought in? It was brought in to stop cynical, time-wasting play that prevented free-flowing soccer. So why are we going out of our way to create trouble here, right? This is absolutely not an offense we should ever be looking to punish. Next one. Okay, we'll walk through exactly what happens here for those that haven't seen this clip. The defender has gone over, defender's picked up the ball to come for goal kick. The assistant referee has advised the referee that the ball never left the field. And because it's in the penalty area, we now have a spot where it's penalty for handling. So there's no question. Again, the law here is clear. The ball wasn't out of play. It was handled in the penalty area. We have a penalty kick. But now we can think about this from a little bit more of a practical position. Is a defender in that spot ever going to pick up the ball if they think it's not out of play? It's just never going to happen, right? There's no motivation for the defender to do that. If they thought there was any chance the ball's in play, they just kick it upfield. Even at low level, you're not going to see players do this on purpose. So how can we get away from this, right? And I think there's an extra advantage here that it's harder and harder as you go up. And when we get into a spot where we have VAR, you're probably not going to have a choice here, right? VAR is probably going to have to punish this, and we're going to have a penalty kick. But for the most part, that's not where we're doing games. If you're doing games in a local park somewhere, is anyone going to know any different if you say the ball was out of play? No one's ever going to know. If you're the assistant referee and you say, yeah, the ball was out, nobody's going to know any different. And more importantly, no one's going to care. No one is expecting that a penalty kick is going to result from this. So we have to be smart in these spots and say, look, by the letter of the law, maybe this is penalty, but this can't really be the outcome that we want out of this. And as the AR, you've got an opportunity here to be a little bit careful with what you're doing, right? If the referee blows the whistle here, and is it looking like they're going to signal penalty, this is definitely a spot where you can put your flag up. And you can kind of give the referee a bit of a choice, right? They see the flag up and go, okay, maybe I got a chance to give goal kick here. That seems like a way better outcome for me. And if they really don't want to, if they stick with it, well, maybe your flag was to support the penalty kick decision, right? So this is just all about considering options. And this is the biggest one that I think, will this make your life easier and will this jeopardize your control, right? So the preferred outcome here is definitely not to have a penalty kick awarded here. Next clip. Some of you will have seen this clip. This was part of the law change package from last year about, in this case, it's an offense from the technical area. So we see a ball come onto the field, and we'll see in the replay in a second where it's come from. Also, this is a spot where the referee might want to think about stopping play, but okay, so we've seen the ball has come in from the technical area here. Now, if you're the referee, you have no idea who has thrown this ball onto the field. If you're the fourth official, you probably have no idea who's thrown this ball on the field, because who's expecting a ball to come in that exact moment? So what does the law say we're supposed to do? Well, the law says we're going to have to go and send off the coach. So now you're the referee and you walk over to the coach and you're getting ready to send them off. And the assistant coach or the trainer or whoever jumps up off the bench and says, it was me. You definitely don't know it was them. You might even think it wasn't them. But you've got a choice here. You can follow the strict letter of the law and say, this person's unidentified, I need to send off the coach. Or you can say, someone is standing here attempting to make my life easier for me. I should let them do that. So if someone wants to fall on their sword to help out their coach, you can let them. That's okay. Yes, it's different. If you come over, maybe you've actually somehow seen that it was the head coach that kicked the ball in the field. Maybe your hands are a little bit more tied. But at the end of the day, you've got a lot of options here. If somebody's going to say, nope, my fault. I know the red card's coming. I'll take it. There's a spot there where this is a spot for sure where you can say, okay, fair enough, right? Make your life easier. Okay, so let's go back to the start of this clip and we'll talk through a little bit what happened. We have a ball in the air going out somewhere near the corner flag. Assistant referee signals for corner kick. What you can't see from here is that the referee has actually signaled for throw-in. Okay, I don't know that the Red Bull. In fact, I know the Red Bull player didn't actually know that. He just thought it was a throw-in, and he takes the throw-in quickly and goes and scores. Now, the problem, of course, is we have several blue players who are clearly walking back, preparing for a corner kick to be taken, and are not expecting this throw-in to be taken. So there's a bit of a philosophy here that we can't let teams benefit from our errors, right? We can't let teams benefit from our miscommunication. So in this spot, the AR is signaled corner. The referee should know that the AR is signaled corner. In this case, communication systems, it should be very clear that the AR is signaled corner. The referee has throw-in. And the referee may be completely correct. This could absolutely be a throw-in. But and all you need to do here is you cannot allow this to be taken quickly, right? A quick little tweet. Let's try this again. Sorry, he thought it was corner. I think it's throw. We're going to go this way. You just can't let a team seize on your error to get an advantage over the other team. That's never going to be okay because teams just won't accept it. At the end of the day, the teams will accept either decision here. If you say it's corner, they don't care. If you say it's throw-in, they don't care. They just can't be taken advantage of by the confusion that gets created there. So there's a couple of options to deal with this. One, yes, the referee and AR can delay a little bit, get on the same page before they signal. That's a possibility. Once the signals are made, the referee could choose to just say, yep, okay, corner kick's fine. Or the referee can say, no, I'm really sure this is a throw-in. Quick little instructional whistle, get everybody's attention back to the fact that it's a throw-in. Because these blue players aren't going to care if it's a throw-in as long as they know and they can go defend. Oh, and now we get to see Mr. Uncle back from this morning to do some work on the field. Okay, so this is referee's worst nightmare here, right? This is the last thing in the world you ever want to have happen. We hate getting in the way of players. You obviously hate getting in the way of the ball, anything else. So let's go back and just look carefully at what happened here. If we go back a little bit, okay, so right here will work. Ball's going through, and a key question is, does Ted touch the ball here? And the answer is no. Now, what does the law say? The law says that if the ball touches the referee, results in a change of possession or an attack, then we can stop playing, give drop ball. It doesn't say anything about the referee running into players and creating an attack or a change of possession. But we have to understand what the philosophy is here, right? And what the purpose of the law change was. The purpose of the entire point of the law change was it's not fair when the ball hits the referee and the other team gets the ball or somebody gets a scoring opportunity out of it, because the referee's not there for that. They shouldn't be, they shouldn't be contributing to an attack. So what do? We stop play. Does that appear in the law? No. Is it ever going to appear in the law? Probably not. But is anyone going to mind if you stop play right now and give drop ball? No one is going to have a problem with this. Everyone is going to understand what you've done, Everyone's going to understand that this was the point of the law. This was the intention. And it saves you from, again, this outcome down the line. Now, you go down and let them score. Absolutely no question. You could allow that goal to stand. And now you're going to have to explain to them why that's correct in law, that the goal has been allowed to stand. Once that goal's scored, you can't go back and say, oh, I should have given a drop ball back here. That's never going to work. But if you do it now, you can, and it'll be accepted. The Massimo Busacca, who's the head of referees for FIFA, has a sort of famous way of describing these things. He says, how long will it take you to explain why this is a drop ball? It will take 2 seconds. Everyone will understand. How long will it take you to explain why this is a goal? It'll take you 2 months, because no one will ever understand how this can be allowed to be a goal. So this is a really good example of a spot where the law doesn't give us the authority to do this. It doesn't entirely say we can't do this, but we need to use a bit of common sense here and say this is not a fair outcome if I allow this to continue. We need to stop play here. I apologize for the video quality on this one, but looks like it was filmed on a potato, but here we are. Okay, so what do we have happen? We've got, it doesn't matter what happens in the penalty area. Something happens in the penalty area. Maybe there's a foul, maybe there's not. The referee has given penalty. So great, let's assume it's correct. And now we have this. We have a player hugging the referee, apparently. So, and the referee comes out with a red card for this. And I'm going to be very deliberate in how I talk about this. I am never, ever going to say that a red card here is wrong, because we never really want to be in a situation where players are touching officials. That's not what we're looking for. However, there may be spots where you sit there and say, I don't really want to give red here, when all of the instruction says that this can be a red card. So now we need to think about what might make this not a red card for us, if that's the direction we want to go, right? We can take some cues from the player's body language himself. If we play it a little bit further from here, what's going on with the player? He's excited, right? He's shocked. He's, at the end of the day, he's got his arms on the referee, and he's kind of holding him there, and it's out of energy and excitement. And we can think about how he got there in the first place. Was this a situation where the player ran 20 yards to get in the referee's face and grabbed him? And no, that's not what happened. This was a spot where the referee was also running in, and they got to the same place at the same time. And I think in particular that very first contact we have to think is fairly natural, right? This was 2 people getting to the same place at the same time. The referee's moving into the player even a little bit. Okay, does he need to put his arms around him like that? No, probably not. But this is also a spot where if this happens in your game, you've got an opportunity here, right? You've got an opportunity to win over this player, maybe forever, because the player knows he's done something wrong now. He's touched the referee, and he knows this is bad. And you've got a chance here to put the fear of God in them a little bit, right? And this is a spot where you can really get the player in the palm of your hand a little bit by saying, listen, don't you ever do that again. I understand that you were not doing this to be violent, but don't you ever do that again. And believe me, it will work. There are players still who years later, I know going into a game that they will not be a problem for me because of something that's happened years ago, right? Where, and it's not even that I let them get away with something. It's that I had some empathy, some sympathy for what they were, what the moment was. I had some understanding of where they were coming from. And that goes a really, really long way. Part of being practical when it comes to dealing with players is going to be understanding their motivations and understanding where they're coming from. And you can read when they're trying to be a problem and when they're they're not, right? When they're just a little bit caught up in the moment. And if you acknowledge that and you let them be human, you become a little bit more human, and it gives you a ton of tools moving forward for how you can deal with these things. One more. Okay, we're going to get a replay of the penalty kick decision. And we're going to play this whole thing through, but actually the penalty kick decision is not the point of this clip. So I want to go back to the very start of it. And I want you to pay attention to Michael Bradley, white number 4. He's right in the center of your screen. He's about to get the ball here. So what happens? He takes a bad touch and loses the ball. Turns over to Colombia. Colombia moves forward. And now watch what he does. Okay, so he comes in and fouls this guy. Now, we're not going to get a replay of this, but let's just think a little bit. If we take everything that happened after this out of the equation, let's just think about this challenge. And let's just say that this is possibly a yellow card. Okay, this is one that's maybe on the border. And so you need to make a decision now as a referee. Do I want a yellow card for this or do I not? So we can think about what might come into play there. But one of the things that we need to consider in this one is, why is he doing what he's doing here, right? He's doing what he's doing because he's mad. He's upset. He's upset that he's just lost the ball. It could be something that's been brewing for 5 minutes. It might just be from this play. But he's lost the ball and he's decided, I'm getting this back right now and I don't care what I have to do to win it. So now you have a player who's sending a message, right? In this case, he's maybe sending a message to the opponent saying, listen, I lost that ball, but believe me, I'm going to get it back from you and you may not like the way I do it. He might be sending a message to the referee. Imagine when he lost that ball, maybe he thinks that he's been fouled. Now, I don't really think that's the case here, but this could easily be a spot where he thinks somewhere in there a foul's been committed. And now he's sending a message to the referee also. So there's a message being sent by the player, and we need to decide what message we want to send in return. And so I think this is a spot where we want to think, okay, look, if you're going to try to send a message in this game, I'm going to send one back. And so I think we can start by thinking, okay, this can be a yellow card. So now we've had this happen. And now if we play it forward, you'll see the referee signals advantage. Can we play that, Doug? Here we go. So now the referee gives advantage. And I can imagine him thinking, I'm coming back to caution this as soon as the advantage is done. And now what do we have? Now we have a penalty. And we have a penalty that is a little bit controversial. I mean, when you see the replay, it shouldn't be incredibly controversial. I think we would all probably come to the conclusion that this is a handball and it is penalty. But very clearly, the American players aren't happy about it, right? We have a big reaction from the players. This is potentially going to put them down 2-0 in a game that they're not going to want to be losing that badly in. And now we're faced with another decision. Now we've decided in our head, okay, I have a yellow card back there and I'm playing advantage. So when the ball goes out of play next, I'm going to come back and caution. And now we have to revisit some of our assumptions, right? This maybe wasn't a 100% yellow card. It was a debatable yellow card, right? And we had made the decision that, yeah, it's debatable, but I need to make this a yellow card to enhance my control. But now we have a situation where we've just given a penalty kick. And now we need to think, okay, are all those things still true? Now is this decision still going to enhance my control if I come back and give this yellow card? Or is it just going to be throwing gasoline on the fire, right? Again, if this is 100% yellow card, it's a situation where it's a yellow card all day, every day, then we don't have a choice, right? Now our hands are tied. We're going to have to do it. But if we're in between, then maybe not. This is a spot where we can circle back and say, okay, maybe I can get away without it here. And you look at it from the other side, part of the reason you wanted to send that message was to tell Colombia that they were going to be protected from somebody committing a bad foul on them, right? Well, Colombia has totally forgotten about that foul now. They don't care at all. They have a penalty kick coming. They think we're going up 2-0. This is perfect. We like everything you're doing right now. So there's no points to be won there, and there's only points to be lost. So now maybe the calculus has changed, right? And we can shift back a little bit. We're gonna jump back, and Doug, if we can, I'm hoping to go back to the third video, the one that we skipped really quickly here. This one. So let's play this for. So this plays into Chris and Ted's presentation from this morning about handball. So what do we have happen here? We have the defender dive in, kick the ball directly into the hand of the attacker. The attacker takes a couple of more steps, gets into the penalty area, gets fouled. So the first question we have is this an offense? Is it a deliberate handball, first of all? A handball that would be a foul anywhere on the field, that if he was a defender in his own penalty area, we would give penalty? And I think the answer is no. I think we would never give penalty for this. So now we're into the second sort of phase of, is this an attacker handball? And the question is, does an immediate goal scoring opportunity happen right on the back of this handball? And a couple of things to remember. One is that the penalty kick itself is not an immediate goal scoring opportunity, right? So we need one before the penalty kick happens. And I think it's fair to say that there really isn't one here. He's facing the wrong way. He doesn't actually have the ball at his feet yet. So in law, do we have an offense here? Probably not. Okay. We might be able to squint and say there is. But what's the practical element here? Well, you're the referee and you see the ball strike the hand right here. What happens if you blow the whistle right now? Nothing. You give a free kick. Maybe the Brazilian player goes, oh, I didn't mean to do that. And you go, yeah, you're probably right. I'm sure you didn't mean to. And then play continues. And everybody's forgotten about it already. If we don't do that, then we run the risk of a really bad outcome here, right? Because now we have to give a penalty kick that maybe is debatable, maybe it's not. This one, it is definitely a penalty. But we can avoid all that, right? So a big piece of the instruction around attacker handball now is, if a ball hits the hand of an attacker in or near the penalty area, we can really default towards just call it, right? Don't wait and see really what happens. The longer you wait, the harder that becomes to give. But you see it hit the hand there, there's very little harm in ever just blowing the whistle, giving the free kick. And this feeds into what we saw in the very first clip too, which is it's much, much easier to give something before something else happens than it is to try to unring the bell afterwards. So quick summary, the point of all of these clips was to give you more questions than answers, I guess. And it's to get you thinking a little bit about what the options are when it gets presented to you, and how you want to choose between those options, and what elements might go into making those decisions. And I think it's things like, will this help my control? Will it hurt my control? What is the expected decision on the field, in the world? What is everybody going to expect? And how can I encourage the outcome and the behaviors that we want going forward? So thank you. And if we have any questions, I'm all ears.
Drew, this is Royce. I have a question for you, and I typed it somewhere, but I gotta find it. Oh, going back to the clip that dealt with the referee getting a hug. Agree with everything you said. Sometimes you work matches with people that you are so familiar with, you know that that behavior is not accidental, and maybe it's a problematic player who's been on your radar before every time you go on the field with that particular team that they're going to be a pain in your butt. Does that weigh into a decision making to lean you towards red rather than the alternative? If you don't have any prior experience with the player, you can get away with the clean eyes and the stern warning. You maybe talk about prior relationships with players and how that weighs into your decision making.
Yeah, for sure. And I think some of it is the prior relationship you may have from previous games, but some of it can even be what's gone on in that game so far, right? There may be a difference in how we respond to a player who has spent the last 70 minutes being an ally, right? Who's been calming their teammates down, who's been, doing some little things that, we would love for every captain to do, for instance. And somebody who's been a thorn in our side for 70 minutes and is driving us crazy and has earned no credit with us, right? It's okay for those two different players to get slightly different treatment, because again, what are we trying to do? We're trying to encourage the behaviors that we're looking to see from the players. And so if we reward a little bit the players who work with us, right, and improve our control and try to improve the game, then that can only really be helpful for us. Certainly, it can come from years of experience with them, right? As much as I said, we can earn a bunch of credit with players by doing this. Well, the players can earn credit with us, and that has to be worth something the other way too, right? Again, obviously, if they really step over the line, your hands are tied. You do what you have to do, no problem. But in areas where there's some gray, for sure, this is a spot where you can work with them a little bit, as you'd hope to have them work with you the other way around. Looks like we got a question here. Akash has asked, can you use this for offside, giving expected calls? Yes, to a limited degree. So the only real place that this comes in, because most of offside is going to wind up being very factual. And you're not going to have a lot of flexibility. But we do have to think about it when it comes to interfering with an opponent in particular. And we see this the most when it's things like the line of vision of the goalkeeper, challenging the goalkeeper for the ball. And I think that there is a real piece of if everyone in the field doesn't really think that anybody's interfered with anything, then you can lean a little bit towards saying, okay, then probably nobody's really interfered. And the flip side is, if you jump up, if the ball goes in the net and everybody on that team is jumping up going, look at this offside guy, then I think you can kind of be practical and say, look, if all of these players think that there's been interference here, we can work with that a little bit. So that's the biggest spot. Justin is asked, in the situation where the player hugged the referee, is it red card or verbal warning, or could you find a way to go yellow card and say it was for what the player said? Look, there's no question that if this rises to the level of, say, violent conduct, you clearly have a red card. But you're right, the players definitely said some things in there too, some of which is certainly dissent. So if the contact for you doesn't rise to the level of red, it's not something you're going to punish, then absolutely, you've got tons of options to still give yellow there. Steve Robbins has asked, as the rules written, are there any such thing as accidental handballs or ball to hand anymore? Yeah, the answer is there definitely are. Accidental handball is specifically what attacker handball was meant to capture, because these are handballs that would not be an offense anywhere else on the field, but they are an offense when they lead to a goal or an immediate goal scoring opportunity. The ball to hand concept is still real, for sure. The difference is there are now spots where we're explicitly saying in law, just because the ball came to the hand doesn't mean it's not an offense. The example of you're running around with your hands above your head. If the ball hits your hand there, well, you took a risk and made that decision. That's kind of on you. But if you're in a natural position and the ball strikes your hand, absolutely, that's still very much a thing.
All right, thanks. Sorry. Yep, I know. Sorry, Drew. Thank you for that talk. Definitely a lot of great information in there. For those of you who maybe had to take a break at some point in time, who maybe didn't catch the whole day, we will be posting the presentations and the videos later, so they will be accessible for you to review later on. So with that concludes, our speaker portion of the event. We do have giveaways to move into. We want to first thank our organizations that provided speakers. So we have the Professional Soccer Referee Association, Pro, and NYSOA that were involved in providing our speakers today. So big thank you and hand clap to them for getting us our wonderful speakers for the day. As we move into the giveaways, we do have a representative from Iowa Games. Iowa Games, it is an organization that puts on sporting events through our state here. So they put on different competitions in the winter, different competitions in the summer. And Kylie Brandt, the assistant sports director for Iowa Games, would like to plug some opportunities that are coming up for referees here in our state in the next coming months and next year. Kylie, you're on. Yep, no problem.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kylie Brandt, as Sean mentioned, and I am the Assistant Sports Director with the Iowa Games. Like he touched on, we host sporting events throughout the course of the year here in the state of Iowa, but specifically, I wanted to reach out to you all and inform you of our soccer tournament that we host every summer as part of the Summer Iowa Games. The dates for this year's summer games are going to be July 23rd through the 25th for our adult soccer division. And then the following weekend, July 30th through August 1st, we will hold our youth soccer tournament. Each year, we use the Terry Vaughn Referee Academy to recruit officials like yourselves to officiate these tournaments, which range anywhere from 6U up to adult 6v6, 11v11. We offer a lot of opportunity for teams to participate. Our tournament, we believe, is a great way for you as officials to keep your skills sharp during the off season, as well as expose you to a variety of levels of play. We get teams of all skill level from all parts of the state. And so this would be a great way for you to get exposed and involved with some of those skills and clubs and things like that. We do compensate officials for their games, and you are welcome to officiate as many games as you'd like for both adult and youth. We work with our commissioner to schedule you for games based on your preference, skill level, comfortability, things like that. So you wouldn't be officiating any games that you weren't comfortable doing. We also do protect officials through our Iowa Games insurance. So if that is a concern of yours, we have your safety in mind as well. And on that note, we are excited to bring the event back. We did have to cancel in 2020 due to COVID, as I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. We will have safety protocols in place for teams, volunteers, spectators, and officials. So things like masks, social distancing, anything required by state facility use, we will have in place. Safety, especially from our volunteers and our officials and our players, is our top priority. Those protocols will be manipulated as things come out this summer. As long as we are up to date on all of that, we will have it ready for you. A note to look forward to, in 2022, we will be hosting the State Games of America, which would be basically the Iowa Games, but on an entirely different level. We will have national exposure there, so we'll have teams from across the country traveling to participate in this event, which will increase our tournament numbers dramatically. And we're hoping to pull talent from the academy once again to help officiate for this event in 2022. This will definitely be a unique opportunity. And for anyone looking to officiate, participate, this will be a great opportunity, again, to expose yourself to a variety of teams and levels of play and things like that. If you're interested in officiating the 2021 Summer Games, either youth or adult soccer tournament, as well as any interest you may have in the 2022 State Games of America, please feel free to contact myself. My email is kylie.brandt@iowagames.org, or you can call me at 888-777-8881. My extension is 706, with your name and contact information, and we will get you signed up. There will also be a link available for you. It's on the previous slide with the soccer information. And you can sign up to referee through that. And I will also put the link in the chat for anyone who is interested. Thank you for your time. I appreciate your interest, and we hope to see you on the field for the Iowa Games this summer.
Perfect. Thank you, Kylie. I know myself, I live right here in Des Moines, about half an hour away from the Iowa Games every year. So I do get up there and referee whenever I have the availability, whether it be the youth or the adult. And I can say from experience, a lot of our adult teams that are in the city league here in Des Moines and then other leagues throughout the state do attend that event. And the games can be fun and very, very challenging. So excited for this summer, and also very excited for the national games to get to town, the state games. So with that, without further ado, we've got sorry, I gotta peel down here, and we've got some giveaways here. First off, Iowa Games offered us a gift bag. There's quite a bit of stuff in here: blanket, notepad, some hats, some different things, a tote bag that's zippered. I'm just going to do these randomly. So we're going to use the survey here. Assad, are you ready to go?
I'm ready when you are.
All right, perfect. So I've got 225 up on the number generator, and number 216.
216
is what I've got.
Give me one moment. Just taking a little time. 216. It's still populating.
Okay. Well, I've got it written down here. We'll get that announced.
216. Thomas McCullough.
Tom McCullough. All right. We'll get that out to you, Tom. I think we can find out where you're at. I might even drive that over to you and say hello.
Sean, do you want me to write it down, or
I've got Tom.
Perfect.
Yep, I got Tom.
Thank you.
So the next one, thank you, Kylie and Iowa Games, for a $100 gift card here to Shields. Shields is a sporting goods store here in Iowa. We have a few stores located throughout the Midwest as well. And we're going to hit the generate number. We've got 156.
156.
Doug, if you want, you can play some music in the background. I got no problem with that if we want to.
Andrew Godfrey or Godfroy. I am so sorry if I messed that up.
Perfect. All right, so that is it for the Iowa Games giveaways. We're going to move into Catch Des Moines. Catch Des Moines, you probably saw the advertisements. One of our tourism organizations here in Des Moines. We are hosting regionals, President's Cup next year. Is it President's Cup Nationals? Correct me on that one, so
Cup Nationals.
Nationals, okay. Year. So Catch and Win wanted to send out a gift bag. I don't have it with me. It is at somebody else's location, so that includes a variety of items: t-shirts, a $20 gift card to Chocolaterie Stomp, which can be used online, some different foam finger, a bag for stadiums. We're going to go ahead and raffle that one off. Random number generator goes to number 9.
Number 9, okay. And a correction on that, Cup Nationals is actually happening this year.
Oh, it's this summer. Okay.
It's this year in Des Moines. So, yeah, I don't know why I was thinking next year, but nope, it's this year. Rod Christofferson is number 9.
All right, Rod. So, next item on the list. Just going to keep on going. Here, guys, get your Kahoot apps ready, because here in just a little bit, we're going to do another Kahoot quiz for some NASO giveaways. We have got one full referee kit from Goal Kick Soccer. Goal Kick Soccer is a local soccer shop up in Spencer, Iowa, owned by Ben McCrae. You might know Ben as the head coach of Iowa Lakes Community College men's soccer team. So Ben offered up a few different things here. The full referee kit is going to go to number 44.
44 is Luke Burrow. Luke Burrow is number 44.
Let's search something. There we go. All right, so a $50 gift certificate to Goal Kick Soccer. Like, they have an online store. You saw their advertisements rolling throughout the show. Goal Kick Soccer $50 gift certificate is going to go to number 149.
149. My contacts are dry now. Tyler Riley.
Tyler Riley, congratulations. We'll get that out to you to get in contact with you to get that sent out. Another $50 gift certificate to Goal Kick Soccer. That one is going to go to number 10.
Number 10. Lucky number. Bonnie Larson.
Bonnie Larson, all right. Larson. Congratulations, Bonnie. So let's go ahead and fire up Kahoot. I will get this quiz going. Sorry, guys.
And while Sean is doing that, reminder that we still have plenty of prizes to give away. We also want to mention that if you guys want to help the Vaughns fight their battle with Huntington's disease, we do have a Venmo account that if you guys are able and willing to donate, we'd be more than happy. All those donations go to the Vaughn family. OSI has done a wonderful job of also creating quarter zip shirts for the Academy. These are exclusive only to this Academy, and if you are an attendee, they are, I will post a link here shortly, but all the proceeds for that also go to the Vaughn family as well. Feel free to click on the link and purchase one yourselves. They're only available till the 26th of this month, so it's for a limited time only. The color combination is not going to be available anywhere else, so we'll talk more about that, but as a reminder as well, all Iowa high school referees or officials, make sure you guys fill out the survey if you want to get credit for your recertification this year. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Sean or myself, but we'll be posting the link to that stuff here again. Thank you.
All right, so as we log in here, this survey or this questionnaire quiz was created with a theme of NASO. So hopefully that helps us get to the right spot, be thinking in that direction. Give you guys a couple more seconds here to log in Top 3 will be awarded prizes, same as the last quiz. Please try and enter your first and last name. Put the music on this. It's the best part about Kahoot, isn't it, Sandra? And again, thank you guys for attending today. When we put this on, it was uncertain how many attendees we would get throughout the day. We're very excited, very happy that we've gotten this much of a response. So we're at 181. I am gonna go ahead and cap it at that, and let's get started. All right, so that one should have been low-hanging fruit. Pretty easy question there. Good job, Bo. Next question coming up. Five seconds. Oh, we got all the answers, so we can. Oh, listen to you. All right, good job, everybody. Yep, say yes to officiating. That goes to all of us to help recruit, retain, and gain new officials through whatever means we can. As obviously we all know, we're dealing with numbers crisis, and it's not just our sport. Next question. Make it a little tougher. Ten seconds. (2020) is when the 40th anniversary of NASO was celebrated. All right, next one. That sounds good. All right, so 10 pro speakers. Sandra said she set it up and had to think about it. Yeah, 10 pro speakers represented the NASO organization at last year's Stay at Home officiating summit at home. All right, last question. Going into the last question, Brian McKay. I don't even know if you're allowed to win, but I guess we'll have to go on. Last question, guys. That is correct. Sandra Serafini is a current board member for NASO and kindly provided some of the donations today that we will be raffling off. So Hannah P, I'm assuming that's Hannah Palliser. Good job, Morgan. And did he hang on to the lead? No, he didn't. Sorry, Brian. Peter Bergam, Morgan Wickman, Hannah Pallister. Good news for you. All three of you are winning a 1-year membership to NASO, which will include the referee magazine and the benefits that come along with that. Go ahead and stop screen share. So, okay, give me a second here to kind of regain where I'm at. And we will get in contact with you guys to give out those gifts. So, moving on, we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more of those to hand out. NASO membership, again, gives you liability coverage, gives you a year of referee magazine, as well as other benefits, including assault protection, etc. So the next one, Assad, was 201. Who is that?
Give me 1 second. 201.
Correct.
Try to give the spiel a little as I'm searching. Alan Trimmel. Alan Trimmel is 201. Congratulations on the NASO membership. Sean, I had a question for you.
Yes.
Have you ever thought about being an announcer?
No.
Man, you pitch these pretty good.
I practiced all night. It's a good thing about having plaster walls in this house. I don't get yelled at when I'm up too late. All right. That's so fair. the next number on that one. Did you get that one, Assad? Did you get it in the chat there?
60?
Yep. Number 60 is the next one.
60. And what are they winning?
Another NASO membership. We got 5 of these. We're rolling right through.
Nicholas
these.
Atkins. Congratulations, Nicholas.
And from here on out, Doug, we have no more Kahoot quizzes. So the music, enjoy your time in the trailer if you want to add that in.
And so I want to say, go ahead, Sean. I'm really impressed by the fact that we still have a total of 264 individuals still signed on, even though they've been here an entire day. So kudos to you guys.
We're hanging on to the good stuff till the end of the
day. That's fair. That's fair.
So the next number on that one, Assad, is 204. Was that the last one?
204. Jeremy Phillips, congratulations. I can't talk. Holy crap. Jeremy Phillips, congratulations.
All right, next one. We're just going to roll through these quick. 182.
182.
Another NASO membership. We got 2 more.
I am going to completely butcher this name, and I apologize ahead of time. If you haven't noticed, my name is pretty difficult to say too. Emi Noso Anikovo? I am so sorry. I am terrible with names. I will be typing it out here in the comments. Emi, I hope you're still with us.
All right, so the next one here, Assad, is number 78 for another NASO membership, and courtesy of Sandra Serafini. Sandra was able to get 6 of these memberships for us, and the NASO donated 2 of the memberships. So big thank you and shout out to that organization for giving us these items to raffle off and provide referees maybe some protection that they otherwise wouldn't have, and us the ability to see the benefits of the NASO and Referee Magazine for a year. at no cost.
Congratulations, Corey Phillips.
Okay, so we're moving on here. Now we're going to get into, looks like some of the OSI items.
Ooh.
And we're going to do, I think, probably two of the most sought after items of the entire event. We've got the Vulcan whistle and the laptop backpack coming up. Lucky for you guys, Julie Tobin was smart enough not to send that backpack to me. Otherwise, it may not have gotten on the list for today's raffle because I've been wanting that item for a very, very long time. These are both around $50 values. OSI has always been a wonderful supporter of this event. Again, we can't thank them enough for their support. We have links for them from them for the special items that we've got to support Terry. But without further ado, we will get on to which one should we do first? Assad, whistle or?
Hey, I'm just a guy here that picks names. That's all I do.
All right, well, let's do the laptop backpack first. And I've got number 2 on that one.
Congratulations, Tyler Sawyer.
All right, Tyler, again, we'll get a hold of you after the event to get that situated and get an email to you, say where to send that. And the last one, drum roll, we're almost done with the day. Anybody who wants to join in the after session, please do so. Please join the link, have some, maybe a little bit more banter, relaxing time. But we've got one more item here, Vulcan whistle to give away. We'll call it the final whistle of the day on the Terry Vaughn Academy 2021. Thank you all for joining us for this first virtual academy. We're very, very happy that you were able to do it.
Go ahead, Sean.
I
was going to say, before we announce the winner of that one, as a reminder again, guys, the Venmo is down here in our left-hand corner on your screen. If you guys are willing to donate or able to, we know COVID has been a tough time, but if you can help us and the Vaughn family fight the battle with Huntington's, it'd be much appreciated. Again, all the proceeds go to them. At the same time, with OSI's shirts, those are available till the 26th of February. One thing that also comes with that is free shipping. So if you order that and you need other stuff such as flags, whistles, cards, cold gear, whatever, embroidery, that all comes with it. So please make sure once you order, fill your carts up. That way you can get free shipping and free embroidery. We also have these sessions being taped and they're going to be recorded. So we will be posting them later on for everybody to come back and watch again if they need to, or if you missed a session, you can always come back and view them later on. We will send those out in an email. It's going to take some time to get this out, taken care of. It's been a long event. It's a lot of recording, so it's not going to be easy to get it all done right away, but we will get it out there via email. So expect an email from me, hopefully, in the next 2 weeks or so.
Assad, it cannot be an event if we don't shoot it to the truck and give them an opportunity to wave.
Yes.
this team, it would not be possible to do this without this team. The amount of phone calls, the amount of changes, the amount of support and education. I think I might be starting my own crew. Okay, that's not going to happen.
I don't know if you can.
I can't even barely figure out the back channel communication system that we're working with. But this crew is amazing, and without Never Ends Productions, we would not be able to pull an event like this off. So thank you.
It was a fun event.
That's all I don't think
have.
Words can describe how big of a help this has been from them. We were working out until late last night, submitting changes, and they've been really flexible. So if you guys need any sort of production, if you guys are hosting your own events, feel free to reach out to.
And it's funny, Ben Trevino always has his hands into things. It seems like Ben always knows what's going on with everything. And Ben Trevino is actually who linked us up with these fine individuals. They taped a TOC event that we refereed at. And so thank you to Ben. Thank you to Never Ends. As Dan Cataldi mentioned in the chat, Doug was a former national referee himself. So I think we all hold a soft spot in his heart when we do these events. Obviously, they've done a great job with NYSOA and Pro. So with that being said, without further ado, we will go ahead and give away this Valkene whistle. And the number on that one, Assad, was number 45.
Lucky 45. Anna Turry is the
Anna
winner.
Turry, it's about time we give her a whistle so that way she can start refereeing older age games. Congratulations, Anna. We will get in touch with you. And again, thank you to Anna, the Keep It Beautiful podcast, who helped us out getting some of the donation items from Duck Tick Brands earlier in the show. So with that said, I'm going to wrap it off. Thank you all again for joining us. Thank you for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
For those of you that are still on, I always have something more to say. For those of you that are still on, remember we have a back channel group right now that's going to be going on. If you guys want to come in there, I will be joining. We're going to be having a conversation. Feel free to come in. We're going to be posting the link here in the chat. Come join, have some fun, grab a drink of your choice, water, whatever, and come have a little conversation, get to know the people there. So yeah, if you have any questions for us, that'd be great. We will also be posting the link for the high school referees to get recertified. We have our triannual recertifications for the Iowa high school referees. You are able to get credit for it as long as you've attended this event and fill that out. Without filling that out, we cannot get your recertification. It's kind of a similar process we've done at all TVRAs, it's virtual now. So again, big thank you to Doug and Lana and Never Ends. A huge thank you to Terry and his family. They're inspiration to all of us, and all our guest speakers that have been wonderful. They were received very well. So thank you all. We will see you soon.